Dear everyone, it's your Pastee and Priscy Bible Trivia. Your motivations, encouragements, and hope in Christ is our concern. This time, we are sharing a Bible story about Daniel in the den of the lions with you. Daniel, a bride in Ekotu Jata Aminemuno. A day in the sea, eh? Alright, let's see. But please, before we start, make sure you like, subscribe, and share for more videos. Please, let's all help and spread the gospel because others also need to listen to this. God bless you for doing that. From our Bible, the book of Daniel chapter 1 verse 1 going. After Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it, he ruled over. The king ordered the chief of his court official to bring some of the Israelites from the royal and nobility, young men who are physically strong, well-informed, quick to learn and understand, and qualified to serve the king. He was to teach and train them for 3 good years. Among them, Daniel was included. But Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine. Yet the Bible made it clear that Daniel was looking healthier and better nourished than the young men who ate the royal food. God gave Daniel and his people the knowledge and understanding of all kinds of literature and learning. Daniel could understand visions and dreams of all kinds. After the 3 years, they were presented to the king. The king examined them and realized that Daniel and his people were 10 times better than the wise men in his whole kingdom. From the book of Daniel chapter 2, one day, King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. And in the morning, he wanted his wise men, the astrology and the magicians, to interpret and explain the dream to him. But unfortunately, none of them was able to interpret nor explain it to him. This made the king become so furious, and he decided to put them to death. When Daniel heard about this, he went to the king and pleaded him to give him some time. Then he came back and prayed to God. In the evening, God revealed the mystery to Daniel in vision. Then Daniel praised God in heaven. In the morning, they took Daniel to the king's palace, and God being so wonderful, Daniel was able to interpret and explain the dream as the king was expected. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell prostrate and paid honor to Daniel, and ordered that an offering of incense be presented to him. After that, the king said to Daniel, "Indeed, your God is God of all gods, the Lord of kings, and the revealer of all mysteries." After that, the king placed Daniel in high position of the palace, and he placed him in charge of all the wise men in the palace. And Daniel remains at the royal court. King Nebuchadnezzar had another dream, and this time too, none of the astrologers nor the magicians was able to interpret nor explain the dream to the king. But Daniel was able to interpret and explain it to the king. After 12 months, everything Daniel had said about the dream happening to King Nebuchadnezzar in reality. King Nebuchadnezzar was driving away from human and got him a mind of animal. He lived with wild donkeys and ate grass like cattle. His body was drenched like a dew of heaven. From the book of Daniel chapter 6 verse 1, then King Darius took over the throne. He gave Daniel a high place of honor and power. Among all the rulers over the land, Daniel stood first because the king saw that he was wise and able to rule. This made the people and the rulers very jealous of Daniel, and they tried to find something evil in Daniel and speak to the king against him. The people saw that 3 times a day, Daniel went to his room and opened his window towards the city of Jerusalem and prayed with his face towards where the house of the Lord had once been stood. The nobles thought that in Daniel's prayer, they could find a chance and harm him, and perhaps put him to death. They all agree and make law that for 30 days, no one is supposed to pray or ask anything from any man or any god, except from the king. They brought it to the king to sign everything and make the law that if anyone should do that, the person will be thrown to the den where the lions are kept. The king was not wise enough, and he was pleased with the law and he signed it without even asking Daniel's advice. So they make the law that for 30 days no one should pray nor ask anything from any man. Daniel was aware that law was made, yet every day he went to his room and opening the door and pray as he always do. The rulers were watching nearly, and they saw Daniel kneeling and praying to God. They reported Daniel to the king, and because law had already been made against that, they were to throw Daniel to the den of the lions. The king tried to save Daniel, but unfortunately the rulers insisted. When the evening came, the king unwillingly commanded to throw Daniel into the den of the lion, and the king said to Daniel, "Perhaps your God will come and save you from the lions." So they threw Daniel into the den of the lions, and over the mouth they placed a stone and sealed it. The king went back to his palace. In the evening, he was so sad he could not eat nor drink. He could not even sleep because he was thinking about Daniel. Early in the morning, the king rose from his bed and went to the den of the lions. He broke the seal, and in full voice of sorrow, he called out, scarcely hoping to have an answer. "Oh, Daniel, servants of God, has your God been able to save you from the lions?" Out of the darkness, a voice of Daniel came out and said, "Oh, king, may you live forever. For my God have saved me for my God shut the mouth of the lions, and they could not harm me, because my God saw that I did nothing wrong to the king." Lovely people, as my story is ending, the king was glad and commanded his servants to take Daniel out of the den of the lions. Angawasem, bro, ye Daniel no, na ne ho ba bia anya dey enkan ye ma ohene no de nkrofo a reported Daniel no ekogu jata amna nim. Na Bible ni ma yete se wandru amna nim mpo, ana ejata no ebubo mu egu won so ekiti won enam pasa. Den na mpese wo sua fi abasam we. Daniel ye obi a oyempaiebofo. Ebra ye de ne kwato jata amna mu no. Wan komema ne homre so ani ejata no ankokon because of se o Nyankopon. Nemum obra ne ho ase e ma Nyankopon so ye dey eboa no. Ma mpaibo enye wakode na nsohwe bia obekom bia no. Se wodi bi mu nko ade a Nyankopon obeyi wafiri mu. Thank you.